Hey everybody, we're learning all about cotton today. So from the field to the gin to the fabrics we enjoy every day. Come along with us as we learn more about cotton and how you can find your place in the industry. Hey everybody, we are here at Martin Farms in Cortland, Alabama, and I'm here with Larkin Martin, the owner of the farm. So Larkin, tell us a little bit about yourself and where we are today.
Well, Megan, you are in one of our farm shops today. I'm glad you all are here. Glad to be talking with the students at Auburn. I've been doing this for about 30 years. We farm row crops primarily. We don't have livestock, we don't do vegetables. Our major crops are cotton, corn, soybeans, and wheat in some sort of rotation. And so it's all mechanized, we farm land we own, and we rent additional land from other people on cash and share rent. So it's a big commercial row crop commodity operation, pretty typical of the crop mix in North Alabama.
So we're here to learn all about the cotton that you're growing. So can you show us some of the cotton fields and talk to us about a little bit about the harvest, how you get ready to harvest?
Oh, we'd love to take you on a tour. We just started cotton harvest here yesterday. So we've got some fields ready to go, and hopefully we'll get some shots of those.
All right, great.
This is an upland cotton variety. There are other varieties that have different leaves, but this is by far the most commonly grown across the United States. And so at the end of the season, the first ones to open are always going to be at the bottom, and a cotton boll is really just a seed pod that pops open, and then the fiber, this stuff is harvested by machines and then taken to a cotton gin where the seeds are removed, and ultimately these fibers are what's sold for textiles. So there it is. But on the plant, it starts opening, and then at a certain point, when most of the seed, they're called bolls, most of the bolls are open, and if you look out further, some of those plants are on a higher part of the field. There was less moisture during the growing season there, and that stressed the plant compared to these, which had more moisture, and so they are more mature. They have opened to the top, but you can see that the bolls are open closer to the top. This field will be defoliated, which means a chemistry will be applied. The plant will stay alive, but these leaves will drop off. And actually this field has been defoliated, but only 2 days ago, so the effects are minimal so far. It takes about 2 weeks. But you can see how easily these leaves are dropping here.
Yeah.
This will start happening naturally, and the harvesters will be able to harvest. If you leave the leaves on, this green chlorophyll will stain the fiber. So you end up with a quality problem associated with the color of your fiber.
So Larkin, talk to us about the harvest. What happens at harvest time?
Okay, so at some point, when it's had enough heat units accumulated during the summer, the cotton has gone through all its stages, bloom, and then boll set, and then the bolls themselves are seed pods, and they open. And we've seen a field that was ready to be defoliated, that was open at the bottom with some immature bolls at the top. So the ideal harvest state for a field of cotton the leaves have all fallen off, and all the bolls available on the plant are open and with a white fiber available to see. And so we've seen some of that today too. And when that happens, the harvesters, as soon as we can, because it doesn't stay that way a long time, the plant will actually start putting leaves back on, or it might rain. So there's weather and time risk associated with that. But as soon as possible, if you get that perfect state of open bolls and leaves gone, you want to harvest when you can. And the harvesters go through the field, have these complicated machines that entangle the fiber, leaving the stalks there and getting the fiber into a basket. And then our harvesters produce these round rolls, which are under some pressure. They're kind of hard, and they're wrapped in this plastic that protects them from the weather. If this is rained on now, it's largely protected.
The cotton wrap, I get asked all the time, is that just like some saran wrap on the back of the cotton picker? And while it might look that way, it really isn't. It's a highly engineered piece of plastic, and it took about 7 or 8 years in order to get what you see now to where it is. And so it's actually 75 feet in length of plastic, and as it goes through the picker, the first revolution that goes around it is non-tacky, and so you don't want anything to stick to the cotton, right? And so it wraps around the round module, and then there's another half of it, so the 35, 37 feet, it wraps around it, and that's tacky, and that tacky portion connected to the non-tacky portion forms a bond and makes it like one super strong sheet of plastic. It's really cool. And so it also has RFID tags embedded in the round module wrap. And so that enables a farmer to be able to trace their cotton from where the round module was dropped, and they can take it from there, and you can trace it all the way basically from dirt to shirt, if you will. And so if you want to know where your cotton was grown and ginned, and then who bought it and what it was made into, Tamarap enables that to happen. So it's a pretty smart piece of plastic.
These rolls will be taken, we move them to the gin as quickly as possible. They usually have to rest there and wait their turn to be processed. Out of the gin comes the fiber cleaned and repackaged and strapped under great pressure at 500-pound lumps called bales. And you've heard about cotton bales. Then the farmer retains ownership. The gin is a service. The farmer retains ownership of the bale and markets that, and there are multiple ways you can do that.
I am president of Choice Cotton Company here in Prattville, Alabama, and we service growers from Central Alabama, North Alabama, Georgia, North and South Carolina, and in West Texas. We provide services to growers, meaning that we help them, assist them market their crop, particularly cotton. And one of the advantages of Choice is that we're in the marketplace every day. We're watching all of the news, and we're looking at some of the trends that happen. And so we advise the grower the best we can on, number one, what channel, where to go, but also when to effectively price the cotton out.
We feel like here, if we can save a producer, $1 in production costs, it's just like making them a penny in the pound in the market. It's money back in his pocket. So in addition to marketing, and a big part of my job is we also have put in variety tests. We do a lot of looking at every research station in the system of Auburn University is a member of our co-op. Every research station in Georgia is a member of our of Choice Cotton. So we have a good tie. In my background, matter of fact, I was, for 14 years after I graduated from Auburn, I was a county agent here in Autauga County. So my background is cotton pest management. And so we have close ties to the research stations. And we use a lot of their information as a pass-through to our members. And we feel like that's a big benefit. But our primary goal is to help them market cotton. We're not like some marketing services where we don't buy the cotton. We just help the growers sell it. And so we find the best places, be it a contract or be it through our co-op or be it on a recap, whatever's best, and kind of guide him through the market. Our growers are really good at production. That's their strong suit. And it takes a lot just to stay up with that, and they're doing it every day. What we try to do is we know they can't watch the market every day, and now it's a global market. That's part of our job. Let us watch that for you. Let us help you make decisions, when to price, where to price, what do we think the market's going to do down the road, and be your eyes and ears on that. So it's kind of like they have consultants in the field helping them make decisions there. That's what we want to do in the market, is help you make the right decisions. So it kind of goes hand in hand. So we feel like it's a big benefit besides just marketing.
we're here in Moulton, Alabama at Jagger Jin Company, which is a part of Redland Farms, and we're here with Mark Jagger. So Mark, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your farm and Jagger Jin Company.
Well, I'm Mark Jagger, and I've been in Redland Farms. We created it back in the early 80s, so now my sons are farming with me, and we have Redland Cotton and we have Jagger Jin. So.
Cool. Well, can't we take a look inside your gin and see what you got going on?
Sure, it's not running, but we can take a look.
All right, cool. So you've harvested the cotton, you've wrapped it into the module, and now the module gets delivered to the gin. So what's the next step?
Well, the modules are stored on the gin yard and waiting in turn to get gin. We use this loader, but it's placed on the module feeder, and you can see them lined up there. One of the main things, you got to be very careful taking the wrap off because you don't want to get contamination in the cotton. So we take the wrap off here, and it goes on this module feeder, and it ends up down there in a dispersal head, and it kind of fluffs it and single locks it up, and then it goes into the gin.
Okay.
That is a heater right there. That's putting the hot air on the cotton that I was telling you about. That pipe goes out there, and then underneath the cotton is dropped into the hot air, and it goes through this dryer, and it's a shelf dryer. The cotton just goes back and forth and
it's literally just
fluffs it up and dries it out. You want to dry the cotton enough to where it'll clean better. That's what, right now it's still seed cotton. It's still seeds and what trash there is in the whole process, you know. But the first stop the cotton makes is through that incline. And it's a set of drums that just the cotton is beaten over, and dust and leaves and stuff come out. And then it goes through a stick machine. And when it goes through the stick machine, it takes out sticks, of course, but it also takes out burrs and stuff like that. Goes through another dryer over there, through another little incline, then it's ready to go into the gin.
Oh, okay.
This is the heart of the gin. Those over there are probably like a kidney, or you really got to have it to stay alive. But the cotton, when it goes through that second incline, drops into that distributor, that auger, and then it flows into the gin stand. This is the point at where lint and seed are separated. We got seed cotton coming in until this point, and when it gets here, it goes through these saws and ribs, the seeds fall out, and your lint is going back to be cleaned and then ready for baling. Let me show you the next process. These machines are lint cleaners, because that's what they do, is clean lint. And when the seed is separated from the lint cotton by the gin stand, the lint comes out through that flue, and we go through two sets of lint cleaners. It goes through the first stage and the second stage. When the lint leaves the lint cleaner, it goes up through that big pipe, and that machine up there is called a battery condenser. That side of the box over there, it's constantly tramping as the cotton goes into that box. There's a transducer in there that gives you an idea how much weight's in the bale. So once it gets full, the press buzzes, it turns and it comes to this side, and they press it real tight into a bale. And we have an automatic strapper that puts plastic straps on it. And then these guys push it through there and put a bag on it and put a tag on it. Well, they take the sample first, then they put it through there and put a bag and tag it.
So how big of a sample do you send to get graded?
It's, I don't know, probably about a pound of cotton, I guess. Those are the samples right there. It's got a tag that goes with it to the classing office.
So, yeah, there's quite a few parameters in grading. A little bit about the grading process. You will see if you go to a gin, when a bale comes out of a press, there'll be someone there who will collect samples on either side of the bale. they'll put a tag in that sample and put it in a bag, and the bag says property of the U.S. government. And someone will pick up that bag. In this case, in Alabama, it will go to a USDA office in Macon, Georgia, where it is then classed by machine and persons supervising the machine. Those grades, the result from that grade, is deposited into a national database that resides in Memphis. It's an electronic database, and anyone can call into that database and retrieve that information. And that information, I think, is alive about three years. And for instance, if you're a foreign mill, you can subscribe to an app that you type in the bale number into the app, it will give you the grade from the USDA. So it's very transparent. The farmer pays for it. There's a fee that is charged through the gin, or typically, sometimes it's charged through the warehouse. And that fee supports that program. And it's an important program because it's now a grade which has got a USDA stamp on it, which means it's a very legitimate grade and regulated, and it's one that people can trust all over the world. And that's really important because that means that someone sitting in Hong Kong could actually bid on a piece of cotton sitting in Alabama because it's sitting in a USDA approved warehouse. It's got a grade that's been done by the USDA, and so there's some assurance there that he doesn't have to come down here and see that it's in a proper storage facility and look at the grade himself. He can take the word of the U.S. government.
So Anna, tell us about Redland Cotton.
So Redland Cotton is a uniquely farm-to-home e-commerce business, and what we do is we take the cotton that we're growing on our family farm and we are manufacturing those fibers into bedding, bath towels, loungewear, blankets, and it's all manufactured in the United States. So we're taking the cotton in the field and seeing it all the way through to the final stitch sewn. Yeah, so would you like to come see our warehouse?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So once the cotton's been ginned, where does it go and how does it get back here?
Yeah, so once the cotton has been ginned, every bale of cotton, let's start this way, goes to the classing office. There's a small piece from every bale that goes to the classing office. We wait for that classing to come back. We only select the best bales to go into our product. So we're obviously looking for the strongest fibers, the longest fibers to go into our product. Once those bales are selected, we send that cotton to Parkdale Mills, and it is spun into yarn. Now, the yarn that is spun for the sheets is different from the towels, it's different from the blankets, and so there's a lot of different processes for each different product. That yarn is then shipped to our weaving manufacturer, who right now is Hamrick Mills. They're in Gaffney, South Carolina, and they will take the yarn, they will slash it, which essentially they put a starch on it so that it can withstand the friction of weaving, and they will weave what they call a gray good, G-R-E-I-G-E. So not the color gray, a greige good. And from there, the gray goods will go to a finisher, and that is where you get your white fabric, natural fabric, whether it has a print on it. All of that happens in finishing. They will also take that starch off. They'll apply any softeners or any sort of processing that needs to happen so it withstands your regular home laundry. From there it goes to a cut and sew. We have a cut and sew here in Moulton, Alabama. We also have another cut and sew that we own in Tylertown, Mississippi. And that is where all of our bedding gets made. And once it's cut and sewn, it comes to us here in our warehouse. We do a lot of quality control here, warehousing, and then we send it out to our customers. Right now we're trying to get out about 200 orders a day. So you'll see it in our process, but we kind of have a little assembly line, and USPS and UPS pick up here at least once a day.
The finished product comes in here, and then you're checking, you're doing quality control on it. So what are you looking for?
Yeah, so for example, Connie right now is reviewing and folding a bundle of towels. Our towels are made in Griffin, Georgia. It's about an hour south of Atlanta at 1888 Mills. They are a very big company. They have plants all over the world, and this is their one domestic facility, but they make all of our towels, and we are just looking for any threads that need to be clipped, any sort of dropped picks where there's just a visible line in the towel, but each of our towels are woven to this selvage edge for increased durability. We really feel like our towels are made exceptionally here, but we're just kind of giving it that final once over, folding it so it fits neatly on the shelf, and then can be pulled and sent to our customers.
There you go.
This is all product on the shelf that is ready to go out to customers. So everything is barcoded. When we receive an order, it walks our employees through. They scan things in and out, and that way we're able to keep a pretty good perspective on on our inventory. So I was a graphic design major at Auburn, and so my passion really is in advertising and branding and marketing. And I went to New York, worked there for a while, lived in Nashville, worked there for a while before I started this with my dad. And so I do all of the design and creative for Redland Cotton, and really it's the absolute best manifestation of my
That's really cool.
Of my degree, because I would have never thought that this would be what I would be doing at all. But
that's really cool to see it come to life, an idea, and then it's right here on the shelf.
It is
all over the country.
And most of it is concepting and then working with our vendors to kind of see what is possible.
So obviously you have a storefront.
Yes.
And so walk us through it and all the items that you got going on.
Okay, so what we have really focused on in the last year or so is bringing in giftable items that kind of pair well with our bedding, but I'll kind of start here. So here you can see the variety of product that we offer. And again, all of this is made from cotton grown on our farm. Cool, so we have our sheeting, a natural throw, and our ticking stripe quilt. What I've also put a lot of initiative into in the last year or so is doing limited release stuff. Gives me an opportunity to be a little bit more creative, and also offer new things to our customers. If we walk over here, we can take a look at the loungewear. So this swan print loungewear was also designed by those same artists out of Savannah, Georgia. And we worked with our finishing vendor to create, this is our same sheeting fabric, but it's just finished a little bit differently. And it has a wrinkle kind of resistant quality to it. So once you wash it, it becomes significantly more soft than what you're gonna feel right here, but it's not gonna wrinkle. And we have our quilts. We also make duvet covers. Essentially, if you wanted to make your bed entirely with Redland Cotton, you can. And this is a lovely example of it right here. So this is the bed that we've created for fall using our natural sheets, natural blanket. This is one of my favorite products, but it's a patchwork duvet cover. And again, we're using, essentially when you make a fitted sheet, you have to cut 4 squares out of it. So after we made a lot of fitted sheets, we have a lot of squares left over. So we use that to make these patchwork duvet covers. Cool. Again, trying to limit that waste. But it's a great warm element for your bed, and our quilts sell out all the time. But yeah, I mean, essentially that is our storefront, and we see people in here from all over the U.S. In the summer, we'll see people making their way down to the beach, and they'll stop by. But we've had people from Wisconsin, all over.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so we have them sign our guest book and try to keep track.
Yeah. So why are you so passionate about cotton, and in particular Alabama-grown cotton?
Yeah, obviously it's in my family. I'm passionate about the family business aspect of it. Both of my brothers are now farming with my dad. They're partners in the farm, and I think the thing that I am most passionate about is the education element of it. I've learned a lot as I've built this business up, and every time we put together a new supply chain and we visit these mill towns and see how important manufacturing is in the United States, it's become all the more important to me to share that with others, for people to know where their things came from and why it's important to make things here. I think those are the two passion points for me with this. And it's a great creative outlet for me, so.
Thanks for showing us around today.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it.
It's been great.
One of the things I can get excited about is the variety of career paths in agriculture today, because there are people that don't think they've never been to a farm or have never thought they were interested in agriculture, who are interested in topics that are and career paths that are very much involved in agriculture, but they probably don't know it. So, for instance, the explosion in computer technology and GIS, GPS technology and mapping and precision work that combines satellites and machines that receive satellite signals in the fields and then do certain things in very specific locations. The whole field of technology writ large that you might apply elsewhere is available as a career path in agriculture, and there are lots of job openings around that. The agronomics have changed. In other words, the science of growing crops has changed as people are understanding microbial systems and the whole biologic systems. There's an exploding field around new biology in agriculture. It overlaps with medicine, and the gut microbiome is just as complicated, we're understanding, as the soil microbiome. And so it's very complex and interesting, and somebody that wanted to go into medicine or research could just as easily find those same career paths specifically in the ag sector. There is a whole new service industry developing around managing new technologies for farmers, and a business related to bringing an exploding number of ideas and software tools and technical tools as services, fee-based for farmers, and that's a business opportunity that's in ag.
The opportunities for young professionals to come into the sector as far as cotton marketing, I've had a number of young professionals working with me over time in my 30-year career, and I've always enjoyed it, and I've seen quite a few young men and women progress and have a career. And those roles typically begin with a field representative going out, meeting the grower, and learning about how to, it's basically salesmanship, and learning how to relate to the grower and understand their needs and what they want, and try to secure a contract or an enrollment. There's other opportunities in sales as well, so that they can sit on the sales side where they look at buyers, understand rules, and understand the opportunities that are there, and then as well as just general office administration, and there are multiple roles around for a lot of young people.
We were really big, Choice Cotton and Atauga, our co-op, we were really big on relationships, as you can probably tell. I was a county agent for 14 years, so that's what we do. You know, you build a trust and a relationship with these growers. And that takes someone who has a background similar to them, that maybe comes from a farming background, not necessarily, but it helps. You can kind of talk the lingo. But as long as you're somebody that can go out there and I say listen as much as you talk, and what do they need? You know, we're trying to meet their needs, and so you've got to have that rapport with them. And then when you're marketing their cotton, you know, that's their livelihood, and so they're dependent upon you, and so you got to have a trust factor there. And the only way to get that is just, you know, we stay in constant touch with them. We have newsletters that go out each Monday morning about the market review from the last week. We have a production newsletter that goes out once a quarter. We're constantly on the phone. So if you're looking for somebody to kind of come in this area, my first thing would say you've got to have a skill set that you can work with people. You got to be a people person, and then knowledge, of course, you know, in either the market or production for that matter. You know, you can kind of learn that, you know, along the way.
Gosh, if you're a student and you want to get in the cotton industry, call a neighbor, call a friend, ask them what they think about cotton, see what part of it about cotton interests you. Is it growing cotton? Because if you are, there's all sorts of opportunities in agronomy and cotton. If you're interested in fashion, cotton's big in the fashion world, right? And so anything that you want, even technology, cotton, like I was saying, traceability from dirt to shirt, cotton's got a place in the technology space too. So anything that interests you, cotton can play into. And so let that be your guide.